Hi there, I'm Alin Ciuperca, and in the next few minutes I'll reveal to you the security benefits of using CloudGuard from an Oracle Cloud Administrator perspective. Oracle CloudGuard is an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure service that helps customers monitor, identify, achieve, and maintain a strong security posture on Oracle Cloud. Use the service to examine your Oracle Cloud Infrastructure resources for security weaknesses related to configuration and your operators and users for risky activities. Upon detection, CloudGuard can suggest, assist, or take corrective actions based on your configuration. When opening CloudGuard, the overview dashboard is presented, as you can see here, containing useful information details about the security status of your Oracle tenancy by showing security score, rating, and risk score, both calculated based on configuration and activity problems detected. Below, you see the problems detected by Oracle CloudGuard in your environment presented into a pie chart based on criticality level, but you can also see them grouped by compartment, region, or resource type. The user's suspicious activity problems are reported in a graphical manner on a map based on the location where the activity took place. And here, of course, you can navigate and see all the suspicious activities from different regions. In case you configure your responders not to remediate automatically the issues discovered, here you can see the pending remediations that awaits for administrator confirmation, and we have a lot here. And also you can see the recently performed remediations. Oracle CloudGuard relies on targets to define the scope of what it is to check. For OCI, this scope is tied to the compartment where the target is defined. We have detector receives that perform checks and identify potential security problems based on their type and configuration. Detector receives provide the baseline for examining the resources and activity in the target. By the type of detector receives, we have configuration detectors or activity detectors. If we open a configuration detector, we have detector rules that provide a specific definition of a class of resources with specific actions or configuration that cause a detector to report a problem. A detector receipt consists of multiple detector rules. If any one rule is triggered, it causes the detector to report a problem. Each rule in a detector receipt can be configured individually, and you can modify the risk level, the status, or you can configure the settings if those settings are configurable. You can see that there are numerous detector rules for different resources, like for example for VCN, a lot of different configuration, for scan host vulnerabilities, or for open ports, or password if the policy doesn't meet the complexity requirement or is too old, and so on. Those are for configuration. And there are different ones for activities, like for example actions that user perform, like deleting, updating, or creating different OCI resources, VCN, user update, subnet, and so on. Now, problems that are triggered by detector receipts represent any action or settings on a resource that could potentially cause a security issue. CloudGuard monitors your Oracle Cloud Infrastructure tenancy network activity to identify and resolve problems. Problems are created when CloudGuard discovers a deviation from detector rules, are defined by the type of detector that creates them, activity or configuration, and contains data about specific type of issue that was found. Like for example here, an instance that is publicly accessible. If we click on it, we can see the remediation, the resource name, and some other information as well. And we have the possibility to either remediate, mark as resolved, or dismiss the problem. If we click on the remediate, we have some remediation responder rules here that we can choose from, like for example, delete the public IP, or stop the compute instance, or terminate the compute instance. So those are the actions for this specific type of problem that you can take. I will not change anything for the moment. After a problem has been identified, we need to be able to respond to it. Responder receives define the action or set of action to take in response to a problem that the detector has identified. The available actions are resource specific. Responder are structured in a similar way to detectors. Responder rules define specific actions to take. If any of the responding rule is triggered, it triggers the responder. Each rule in a detector receipt can be configured individually. CloudGuard provides a set of response with default rules. You can use this response as it is. You can clone any of the default responder and modify the rules to meet specific needs. You can enable or disable responder rules individually. You can limit the scope for applying individual rules by specifying condition based on managed list to limit the scope. CloudGuard, it is integrated natively with OCI notification service and allow OCI administrators to receive email or other type of notification when a problem appears. CloudGuard also provides recommendation in order to improve the security posture of your tenancy by listing the top 10 most critical issues that need your attention. For example, in our tenancy here, we have two database systems that are publicly accessible. We have buckets that are publicly accessible as well, suspicious IT activities, and so on.